Hello, collective. Welcome to this week's episode of Transmutation Tarot, where we'll be talking about the archetypal energy of the Hanged Man, what is ready to be transmuted, how you can work with this energy over the coming weeks and months. So in these sessions, that's why I created this, is to help people understand that tarot is a way that our subconscious minds are able to link to the symbology in the tarot, and we can have a deeper understanding of what's going on behind the scenes in our life, that we can tap into the energies and learn to work with and co-create. So if you're new here, I'm the mystical medium. On this channel, I co-create with source consciousness and your higher self to bring you all of the real practical tools of divine soul alchemy that are going to catalyze you along your journey of self-healing, coming back to the full remembrance of how to utilize your multidimensional magic and remember who and what you are, which is an extension of source consciousness, coming to know itself and play in interdimensional magic. So welcome to this sacred space. Very excited today to talk about the Hangman. So you may have been feeling like you've been in this kind of like limbo, like stasis, where you're not really making progress, or it feels like there's no forward movement or momentum, or you're not really seeing any gains in life. But Spirit wants you to know that this time of rest, it's like the time in between the inhale and the exhale. That's how you can think of the Hangman energy, the Hangman card, is that moment of pause. And in that moment of pause, guess what? It gives you time to take stock where you've been and where you want to go. And this is obviously incredibly helpful and beneficial when you are creating the life of your dreams. You don't want to just be plunging firmly ahead and fall off a cliff. No, Spirit wants you to slow down, to appreciate those moments of rest, of pause, and to understand that they're often very necessary for us to help see which path that we want to take next. Because there's no right or wrong path. It's all just choices. It's all just decisions. It's all just experiences and contrast and lessons in consciousness. But the more that we learn to work with the energy and flow with what life is trying to teach us, including in those moments when we feel like we're strung up and nothing is happening and we're just kind of stuck, when we learn to just relax into them, we start to actually co-create with the cosmos and tap back into our power as divine alchemists and conscious creative beings. So we're going to see what other messages want to come through today with the tarot. Spirit, what does you have the collective know? What is ready to be transmuted with this Hangman energy? How can the collective tap in and begin to utilize and work with the archetypal energies? Feeling this card and this one. That one, that one, and that one. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm going to turn this down a little bit so y'all can see as well. We have the Fool. Wow, how interesting. The Fool coming out with the Hangman. Yeah, you guys are on the start of something new. This is the beginning of a new journey. This year, 2025, is a year of change, of rapid growth, evolution. That's what fives in numerology are all about. We're also in a 9 year because 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, 2025, equals 9. And 9 is the last number before the completion, right? So this year, everything might feel like it's like bubbling up. You might really be feeling, like I said, like you're just kind of in this like weird limbo and you're like, okay, I'm ready to like move on to the next thing. But there's still something that is needing to be learned right here, right now. Like you're literally on the cusp of starting this new journey, of embarking on this new journey. But Spirit wants you to take a moment, take stock of how far you've come, breathe, and appreciate all of the lessons and all of the growth that you've gone through already this far in life. All right, then we have the Page of Cups. This is all about that inspiration. It's about seeing and imagining and allowing yourself to dream beyond what other people perceive as possible, beyond what even you have allowed yourself to perceive as possible. In the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, it's a little boy holding a cup and there's a fish jumping out of it. And it's supposed to symbolize that, like, no one else has to see or believe that there's a fish jumping out of his cup, but he sees it and he believes it, and therefore it is true for him. So use your imagination, start dreamscaping, start tapping back into, what do I want my life to look like, to feel like? Who do I want to become? What do I want to achieve? If you've been feeling like you've kind of been stuck in like the same day in and day out, what's the word I'm looking for? Routine or schedule or whatever. Word's hard. If you've been feeling like basically you're living Groundhog Day, the same day over and over and over again, Spirit wants you to know you can shift this at any time. You can choose to embark on a new journey, choose to look to new possibilities, have courage to take the first step, to climb that peak, to see what's on the other side. All right, let's see what else we got here. We have the Seven of Cups. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. So I'll show you the upright position, but it's in the reverse, which is actually really good with that card. And then we have the Five of Swords. Okay. Let me see where Spirit wants me to go first. They're telling me to talk about the Ten of Swords in reverse first. So the swords, the suit of swords is all about mental clarity, or on the reverse side, mental inhibition. So the ways that we limit ourselves, the ways that we hold ourselves back by our beliefs, our thoughts, our perception, right? So with the Ten of Swords being reversed, 10, once again, 10s are completion. So you've completed a cycle, maybe a really heavy cycle of anxiety, depression, maybe loops of PTSD that you've been working through healing. All of that has been boiling to the surface because you're actually ready to heal it. What is revealed in your environment and in you, in your body, is ready for healing. So know that nothing that's coming up is ever going to be too much for you if you just allow yourself to observe it, to sit with it, and then to let it flow, to be like, all right, what do we need to do to transmute this and help it move through the body? Because our emotions are not intended to be stuck and stored in the body. That's why they're called emotions. They're intended to be in motion, right? So the more that we allow ourselves to feel and be a fully integrated, multidimensional, having a human experience, and know that having the full range of emotions is part of being fully integrated in this human experience, and we allow ourselves without judgment to feel the grief, to feel the anger, to feel the heartache, to feel whatever is coming up. Because when we feel it, it's allowed to heal. So Spirit's saying all of those things all those ways that you've been holding yourself back, or all those things that you've still been kind of stifling or repressing, allow them to come up, allow them to surface, allow that cycle to complete. Okay? And the Seven of Cups is the card of nostalgia in traditional tarot. That's what it's known as. So it's allow yourself once again to dream. What did you love to do as a child? What would you love to do now? What were you repressed or restricted or limited from doing when you were younger, but you always wanted to try? Guess what? You can do that now as an adult. Complete freedom. You are only restricted by yourself. The only person holding you back from everything is you. And maybe that's why you've strung yourself up like this hangman. Because you knew that there's some lessons that you still needed to take a look at, and you needed to pause. Sometimes we have to slow down, and we have to get quiet, and we have to just stop in life because life gets busy and chaotic, and a lot of times we get caught up in it, right? So sometimes our higher self is like, all right, we're going to put you in this moment of stasis so that you can see from a different perspective what is actually going on here. So you can see how all of those, the Five of Swords here, all of those moments of heartache, all of those moments of hardship, all of those moments where you feel like, and maybe people have actually taken from you, whether that be spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, energetically, it's understanding that all of those experiences were intended to help you grow, that there was wisdom to be found in each one. And it's interesting with this card because on the imagery, to me, it looks like an hourglass. There's like this balancing act between the light and the dark. So it's like shadow and light are being rebalanced within you. You're learning to sit with those more difficult emotions, those more difficult experiences that you've gone through. And you're finally giving yourself space to breathe. You're finally giving yourself compassion. You're finally learning to set the boundaries that you need with others and with yourself, how to speak up and advocate for yourself quietly and confidently. Let's see what else wants to come through. All right, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Eight of Swords. Page of Pentacles in reverse, and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the Eight of Swords first. So the Eight of Swords is, once again, all about the ways that we have held ourselves back by limiting and believing that we are restricted or not able to do something because of X, Y, and Z, right? But it's the Eight of Swords is releasing all of that. It's stepping beyond that. It's having the understanding now that, oh, I can free myself. I'm as free as I allow myself to be. It's one of my favorite mantras. And I have this saying tattooed on the side of my arm: freedom lies in being bold. That's what the Fool card is all about. Taking that courageous step when other people call you a fool, when other people think that what you're doing is idiotic or crazy, but you know that it's in alignment for you, when you know that that's your path and you step out anyway on it, regardless of whether or not you have to embark on it alone. That's where true freedom lies. That's when you understand, yes, I am a magical, divine, creative being, and I can trust in my magic and also the magic of the universe to work with me and through me and for me. Everything is always working for my highest good. Speak these things aloud to yourself every day. Start to actually shift your mindset, shift your perspective. This is how you transform your external, by first transforming your internal state of being. Because the 3D is slower. It moves in slower wavelengths than we can operate in as multidimensional beings. So we got to do the work behind the scenes first and trust the process of it will unfold in due time. It will unfold exactly as it's intended to. We just keep planting the seeds. That's what Page of Pentacles is all about. Keep planting the seeds. It's slow growth. You don't dig up a seed every time, like every day, to see if it's growing or not. No, you plant the seed. You nurture it. You water it. You do what's necessary to assist its growth. And you know that in due time, you will reap the rewards. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. This is what's on the other side of that growth. This is what's on the other side of you actually slowing down and allowing yourself to be human, to be a multidimensional, having a human experience, right? To allow yourself to be all of the things, to stop boxing yourself in. The Emperor sits boldly on his throne. He doesn't have to tell people who he is. They see it. They feel it. It's his presence. It's the way he carries himself. How do you carry yourself throughout your day? Do you emanate love? Do you emanate peace, joy, magic, abundance? Because these are your most natural and truest state. Anything else is limitations, is projections, is possibly other people's energies that you're taking on as your own. Because as energetic beings, we constantly share, we emit, we transmit information to other people do the same to us. So we have to be very, very careful and identify, okay, this is not my energy. I don't have to even acknowledge this or play with this energy. Okay, I feel this energy coming into my field. How can I transmute it back to love? How can I be love today? How can I be magic today? How can I sit in my authority and become the emperor of my life? How can I relax in those moments of discomfort? You see this guy, it's like he's put himself here for the purpose of enlightenment. He's got this halo around his head and he's straight chilling, even though he's strung up upside down. He understands there's a purpose for the time that he's in. He understands that there's a new perspective that needs to be seen, to be witnessed. And he opens himself up to new possibilities. So how can you do that today? How can you open yourself to new possibilities? How can you fall in love with exactly where you are? And then at the same time, begin to embody everything that you truly are at your core, your essence, abundance, love, peace, joy, wealth, prosperity, all of the things, to start co-creating the life of your dreams. Because the experiences that you've had thus far are not all the experiences that you're intended to have. No, you are worthy of every good and beautiful thing. You came here to experience all of it. So go out and experience it. All right, that's the transmission for today. If you guys found this helpful, please leave me a comment down below, share the video with someone that you feel like would benefit from this message. Let me know how you're going to work with this archetypal energy of the Hanged Man this week. And until next time, be the magic.